Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Catherine Melleron, and this is Make It Make Sense. It has been a while since I have done a video, and the reason for that being is that, like most people in this country during these hectic times we're living in, I've been a little overwhelmed. But I do spend my days listening to and watching various YouTube videos from various independent media creators. And I do keep up with everything that's going on. And maybe that's the reason I've been so overwhelmed. But I want to start off by saying that so this weekend, um, I was with my daughter. She is starting a business and it is called Ramblin' Rags. And what she does is she goes out and she thrift shops for vintage clothing, shoes, purses, and things like that. She has such good taste, and she always picks out the cutest items for her store. So what she's doing right now is she's doing shows. She's going to different like flea off markets or flea market type of situations like that. You set up a booth and people come through and you're there with a bunch of other vendors and you know and you sell your product. So she had an event on Saturday, and she needed my help because her husband had to stay home with the grandbaby. So I went with her to help her with the show. And we ended up, the lady who was next to us, her name was Liz, and Liz was fabulous. And that's why I'm telling this story. Liz just immediately, she offered my daughter some weights to put on her canopy so it wouldn't blow over and all of that. But come to find out, Liz is very, very politically active. She organizes protests, and she had gotten on the phone with her wife, and her wife was actually at a women's protest at the time. And so we got to talk a lot about that. And she was able to give me some really good information about ways to get involved in your community. And then she was also able to give my daughter really good information about various shows that she may want to sign up for. This lady made custom belts. It was really, really cool. Like, she had all the different colors on her display and buckles, and you could pick the color, you could pick the buckle that you wanted, and she made the belt right there for you. It was really neat. She was a really neat person, but she gave us a lot of good information. So I say that to say this, that I was talking about being so overwhelmed, and I think one of the things that's most important at this time right now is to spend time with the people you love, spend time with your family, get outside, touch some grass. As a lot of people say, touch some grass, because we were outside all day. It was chilly in the morning and it was chilly in the evening, but throughout the day it was tolerable. Our weather's improving some this week. We're getting a little bit of warmer weather this week, but it was a little chilly, but it wasn't anything we couldn't handle. But it was so nice to just, be outside all day, interacting with people and, meeting new people and all of that. And I spent the whole weekend at my daughter's house. I was able to spend a lot of quality time with my granddaughter, and it was the best. It really was. It made me feel so much better. And just make sure that you are taking time to do the things that you love, the things that are important to you. And when you get your rest, and when you back away for a little bit, then you can come back stronger and ready to fight. And I also want to talk about, I know this is late in the game because today is Monday, but there is a very big protest happening in Washington, D.C. on Friday. And the website is now march.org. I will link it in the description. My daughter and I are going. We're driving there. It's about an 8-hour drive. So we're going to drive through the night on Thursday night so that we don't get there too late, because it starts at noon. So we don't want to get there at the last minute. And we're going to see if we can check into our hotel, but we probably won't be able to check in that early. But we will be able to park the car there because we're staying right in downtown DC. So we can just walk to the protest. But yeah, we are going to that. I know this is it's a Monday, so it might be difficult to make those kind of plans. But if you are able to make it, I think it's going to be very impactful, and I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to DC, so I'm really looking forward to going just for that reason alone. But yeah, I'm hoping I can have some time to see all of the different, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and all of that that's there that I've never seen in real life. So, that's exciting for me. And my birthday's on Sunday, so you know. But anyway, I just have to say, I'm so sick of Donald Trump that I don't know what to do. I mean, just hearing his voice makes me cringe. And I'm just so tired of all of his shenanigans and everything he is doing. He is single-handedly tanking our economy, and he is just destroying our country. He has broken all of our relationships with our allies, and he's cozying up to dictators, and we all know this. And he himself is a dictator wannabe. I just, and a lot of people say that like the Republicans comply because they're scared. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I don't know if they're scared of him or if they're just scared of not complying and how that might affect their careers, because Donald Trump, in my opinion, is not scary. I'm not scared of him at all, not in the least. And it is very hard to take him seriously when he is constantly going back and forth on these tariffs, and we're going to put the tariffs on, we're going to take them off, we're going to put them on, they're going to be this percentage, now they're going to be this percentage. And, and now he's saying that April 2nd is going to be the deadline, and that's when he's going to put the tariffs on. And he tries to sugarcoat everything, and that little whatever that was, his fake State of the Union. That's what one of the people that I follow on here that I highly recommend is Don Lemon, and I am a Lemon head, and I did become a member, and so I am part of the Lemon Nation. And I recommend him very, very much. He comes on every day at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then he does have content he'll post in the middle of the day around 2 o'clock too. And I make sure I tune in every single day. I'm not always on there when it's live, but I make sure I watch the recording of it. But I do watch him every day. And he was calling that whatever he did the fake State of the Union, which I thought that was funny. So yeah, his fake State of the Union. He spent, what was it, 140 minutes or something? I don't know. It was such a long speech. And I wasn't going to watch it, but I watched it live with Don Lemon. So that made it tolerable because he talked during the speech, and I was so glad he did. Some people were saying, we want to hear what he's saying. And I thought, I don't want to hear what he's saying, because all he's doing is lying. He lied the whole entire time. Everything he said was a lie. And, it was just so ridiculous. And I was getting so mad. I really was. I was getting angry because I was like, you're lying, and I was just like, ugh. And then, and we got to talk about the Democrats, y'all. I mean, what in the world are they doing? I just heard today that Hakeem Jeffries apparently had a meeting with the Democrats and was saying that, he doesn't agree with the protesting and blah, 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 and whatever, and saying that the women who wore the pink during the speech, that's the way you should protest. And they have a lot to learn, especially about that we are in the 21st century and things are a lot different now, and they need to have an online social media presence. That's what they need to be doing. And they should be on here every single day, calling out everything that is being done and how it's going to affect the American people. That is what they should be doing. And they really do have a lot to learn. And they are really lacking in being able to get their message across. And it's so blatantly obvious. And it seems like that we do have a few. I mean, we have to give our props to Jasmine Crockett, to AOC, and to Bernie Sanders. I absolutely adore Bernie Sanders, and he's going on tour across the country and rallying in all these places. And I listened to his speech at two of them. And he's telling the truth about what's happening, and he's generating a lot of interest, and people are standing behind him. He did run for president, and then he dropped out of the race, and he came to Louisville, and my daughter and I went to his rally, and I've always been a Bernie person. I fully support him. I like the progressive movement. I'm totally in agreement with Medicare for all, and I'm totally in agreement with the Green New Deal, and taking steps to protect our environment, because Donald Trump just wants to destroy it. He was talking about trees, and he was talking about how we have plenty of lumber in this country. We've got plenty of trees that we can cut down, and some other experts, I guess, that know more about trees than I know, of course, was talking about the quality of the lumber comes from aged trees, and that the best lumber that we get is from Canada. And of course, now with these tariffs, it's going to be damn near impossible to try to get lumber from them without it costing being astronomical in cost. And of course, we all know that cost gets passed on to the consumer. And Donald Trump tries to pretend like he doesn't know how a tariff works. I think he knows exactly how a tariff works, and he just does whatever he wants, regardless. And something else that I learned too, that I think you should pay attention to, is that I learned this today, and actually, no, I think I heard it the other day. Then I heard it again today. The billionaires, rich people, love a recession. You know why they love a recession? It's because during a recession, the prices of everything goes way down, and they just buy it all up. They buy up houses, they buy up commercial properties, they buy all this stuff up so that they can make money later, when we get out of the recession. There's been a lot of talk about us being in a recession or coming close to being in a recession, but apparently the Dow dropped today to an astronomical low. I am not an economist, so I don't really I understand it, but then, I can't really speak as an expert on it. I just know that I heard today that it dropped like to this all-time low. And a lot of people are saying that some people are saying we're headed in a recession. Some people are saying we are in a recession. I believe we are in a recession, but what I believe and what the facts are probably could be two different things. So, just take it with a grain of salt. But he is tanking our economy, and they are trying to blame Joe Biden, and that just goes right through me, blaming Joe Biden, because we had a very strong economy when Joe Biden was president. Now, do I think Joe Biden is perfect? Do I agree with everything he did as president? No, I do not. I do not. But I know that all of these mass firings and all of these people losing their jobs and these tariffs has affected our economy, and they're going to continue to affect our economy because they're not stopping with these mass firings. And the tariffs alone can crash an economy, because most of these business owners are raising their prices already in anticipation of the tariffs. The auto industry is going to be non-existent. This idea that we should build only in America and everything like that. Well, that's all fine, well, and good, but there are a lot of resources that America doesn't produce and that we have to get from other places. It's common sense, like if you want good coffee, you get it from Colombia, that kind of thing. And with auto manufacturing, 30% of the parts that they use to manufacture the cars come from other places and are made in other places. So it's not like we can just take a pop-up tent and put up an auto manufacturing plant and get started with manufacturing these, but they still wouldn't even have the parts because we do manufacture cars here, but we have to get the parts from other places. And see, this is the things that he don't like to talk about. He keeps repeating that these tariffs are going to make everybody rich. They're not going to make everybody rich. They're going to make the rich people richer, yes, but the rest of us are not going to benefit in any way, shape, or form from these tariffs. Okay, nobody's benefiting from the tariffs. And we are just broadening that gap between the rich and the poor, and the middle class is slowly disappearing to where if this continues on, it'll be non-existent. And I feel like they are really coming for the middle class, but I guess we'll all have to just wait and see what happens, because one thing that I never ever ever see anyone talk about is his illegal presidency. One person I see talk about it, her name's Jessica Denson, and she talks about she did a march and before the inauguration, trying to not before the inauguration, the certification of the election, and they did a march, and it was called 14th Now, referring to the 14th Amendment, which states that if any candidate or someone interested in running as a candidate for president has incited an insurrection, they are not qualified to run. So he is a convicted insurrectionist. So he shouldn't have never even been able to run. And that's the point she's always making. And she repeats it several times because no one says it, that he's an illegal president. And the fact that the other day, my niece sent me the video. I'm going to see if I can link it in the description, this video, because it's probably going to be taken down. But he was in the Oval Office. This just happened like yesterday or the day before. And he was in the Oval Office and he was with that man. I don't remember his name, but they were talking about the World Cup and he was signing some kind of document about it. And the guy gave him the World Cup trophy to hold there until the tournament is over and all of this. And he said, just like he said in his speech, at one of his rallies, well, I didn't think I was going to be president when the World Cup happened, but we rigged the election, so I was able to be president. He said it. He said it again for the second time that I know he said it. And right there in the Oval Office, and not one person questioned him about it. Not one person brought it up. Not one person said anything. And it was like they passed right over the comment. We rigged the election. It was his exact words. And so I don't know his reasoning for that. I don't know why he's saying that. I mean, I fully believe that he's telling the truth, because people think he says things like that and they're like, oh, don't take him seriously. Yeah, you should take him seriously, because he's telling you exactly what happened. And I think he's trying to make the point that I can do and say whatever I want. Nobody's going to do anything about it. But I think his day of reckoning is coming, and I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later, because I don't know how much more of this I can take. And I'm sure that all of you are feeling the same exact way. But I'm really trying to get this podcast going. And of course, I have to create content to do that. And I realize that. And I've been slacking on that. So I do ask you, please, to hit the like button and please subscribe. Those two things really help to push it out into the algorithm and get more views. And that's what I need, because I'm brand new at this. So I really want to build it. And, I really need your help. So please do those two things. Subscribe, it's free. And that's free. I know some people set up Patreons and things like that. I haven't done anything like that, or to become a member, but I don't feel like I have enough of following to do anything like that right now at this point. So I'm just trying to get this pushed out so that it can grow. Because I'm just one person doing this, and, just doing it off the cuff kind of thing. I did get some equipment, some lighting, some microphones, things like that, to try to make it as, sound as good and look as good as I could on camera, not myself, but just that it looks, my brother explained to me how important that the lighting was and all of that. So he's been a big help to me, and he wants to come on the podcast, which we just need to get together to do that, because he has some things he wants to talk about in regards to Donald Trump as well. So I will be having him on as a guest. And I have had my daughter on a couple times, and she's just, her and I just have such a good rapport and vibe, and we're extremely close too. And I love doing the videos with her, because I just think that we just kind of talk and just let it. We don't have an actual agenda. We just talk, and I think it turns out really well. But anyway, I am trying to do my best, and I appreciate all of your support. And if you want to, if there anything you want to see me talk about, or if you have a story you want to tell, or if you are interested in being a guest, you can email me at makeitmakesense53 at gmail.com. Yes, that is the email address. And I really appreciate all of you, and I hope everyone has a great day. And hang in there.